Should the Buccaneers fire Jason Licht? No. Hey guys, what's going on? James here. Today we're going to be talking about the possibility of the Buccaneers firing Jason Licht. Should they do it? Is it the right move? Should they extend him? What should they do with Jason? Well, I don't think they should fire him, in my honest opinion. And we're going to go ahead and go through year by year and see things that Jason Licht has done good, the things that Jason Licht has done bad, and the things that have been very... So, in my opinion, Jason Licht, I feel, should keep his job with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel he's one of the better, if not the best general manager that the Bucs have had ever. If you guys want to see another video that I've done on Jason Licht, by the way, you can go ahead and click the eye icon up in the top right for you here. It'd be, yeah. So, in my opinion, I do feel they should keep Jason Licht. Just looking at the things that he's done, maybe not in terms of free agency, he's not been the best in terms of free agency, but in terms of drafts, he's really had some of the better, if not the best drafts the Bucs have maybe ever had in terms of consistency in players and overall draft class. Obviously, you've had your Warren Sapp and your Derek Brooks. That'll probably be the best draft class the Bucs have ever had, or Leroy Selman. That'll be the best draft class probably the Bucs will ever have, is with Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. But Jason Licht himself hasn't had a bad draft class. Hasn't had bad draft classes at all. So Jason Licht's been with the team for 4 off seasons now. That's pretty good. 4 off seasons. He's due for an extension now. And his first off season started in 2014 with head coach Lovie Smith. Now I'm not going to get into the politics of it and he was signing players that Lovie Smith wanted, or this, that, or the other. I talked about that in a whole separate video. I'm just going to see, looking at the players he did bring in, the players that he did not bring in, and decide on whether or not they were good or bad. So, looking at the good here, 2014 was not a good year for Jason Licht. His first year as a general manager with the Bucs did not go well under any circumstances, okay? I've got this all written down on a notebook. So, his misses, there was a lot, okay? He drafted Austin Seferian-Jenkins in the 2nd round, who is now playing for the New York Jets after a lot of behavioral issues as well as alcohol issues that he did have. I think he did have a DUI and was talking very disrespectfully towards police officers. And overall, he just had character issues. I'm happy that he is working out. He's getting better. I was very happy that he's better now and getting through those. I'm more than happy for him. I wish him nothing but the best. However, with his time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it did not go well. Maybe his change of scenery was all he needed. And he's actually not doing that bad now, but he's not doing bad. Like, he's not doing that great, but he's not doing that bad. He's doing better than he did with the Bucs. That's the point, though. I'm going to be going through all these guys' respective careers as I'm talking about them. I'm not going to be naming every single player that the Bucs got rid of in free agency or the Bucs signed or whatnot, because I would be here forever. Like 2014, I'm not going to talk about guys like O'Neal Cousins, Dane Fletcher, Mike Jenkins, or Brandon Myers. They're all out of the league. They're all gone. I'm not even going to talk about them because they're not worth talking about. I'm going to be hitting the main footnotes and the main notes of who was signed, traded, drafted, whatever, who we acquired. So, yeah, ASJ wasn't the best in the world. Kadeem Edwards was our 5th round pick, and these late round picks I'm really going to be on the fence about in terms of calling them misses or in terms of calling them mediocre as. My 3 categories, I don't, you can't see it, but I have hit, miss, and so I'm just talking about the misses right now. But Kadeem Edwards, 5th round pick, he was a backup essentially for his time in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He didn't do very good. He was eventually fired. Released. I believe he went to the Rams for a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. But I do believe right now he's currently a free agent and not in the league. I'm not too sure about that. But Robert Herron, a 6th round pick, was not good at all. He was projected. He was supposed to be a punt returner, a kick returner, and kind of a speedy wide receiver slot guy for us. That didn't go well at all. He was released shortly after. I think they gave him a season, maybe so, but until he was eventually released, I believe he's bounced around to a couple of teams in terms of punting and kick return duties, specifically that's been his main thing, but I don't believe he's on a team either. Now, in terms of free agency, this was probably Jason Licht's worst year as a general manager in terms of free agent acquisitions. It was bad. It was really bad. Anthony Collins, they signed at left tackle. Terrible. He got benched, I believe, halfway through his first season. He was a terrible left tackle from the Cincinnati Bengals. He eventually was released, I believe, after his first year, and he's no longer in the league. He's like gone. Nobody, nope. Nobody paid attention to Anthony Collins. Michael Johnson was brought in to be a pass rusher. That didn't go well at all. I believe he was also released after his first season, and he went back to his original team, the Cincinnati Bengals, where he is still playing to this day. Josh McCown was brought in at quarterback to compete with Mike Glennon in the year 2014. All in all, not a terrible move. Like, I understand why they did it. They didn't trust Mike Glennon, and in hindsight, I don't blame them. I love Mike Glennon, but I don't blame them. But really didn't work out. He's kind of bounced around. I believe he went to the New York Jets. I mean, he's on the Jets now. I know that, but I can't remember if he went to a team before the Jets. Maybe he went to the Browns. I think he went to the Browns, actually, and then he went to the Jets, but I could be dead wrong there. But he's playing for the Jets now, and he's actually not doing terrible. The Jets, I believe, currently have a better record than the Bucs. So, but we just beat the Jets. So, I don't know what to tell you. And then Alteron Werner, I think he lasted his whole contract, to be honest. I'm pretty sure he did, or either he got released on his final year. He's now with the Miami Dolphins, and he isn't exactly that stellar of a cornerback anymore. He's not bad by any means, but he's not exactly great. I would mark him as probably an average guy. So, I mean, his free agent misses were bad, but it's not like the guys that he signed to these big contracts and then eventually released went off to have amazing careers with not being on the Bucs. They just kind of are all either out of the league or they're just not very good anywhere. Especially with, so all of his misses were kind of chalked up to them just being on other teams, or they're out of the league. The ehs that I'm counting for 2014 were Kevin Panfield, who's still on the team as a backup guard. He's been playing a lot more than a 5th round pick should be playing, in my opinion. Charles Sims, who has proven to be good if you can get him going. He had 1,000 total yards one season. That was actually pretty impressive. If he can keep up that kind of potential, I think he could be doing good if they eventually get rid of him. Louis Murphy was signed. I believe he played out his whole contract, and then I believe he's on the 49ers now. He's on the 49ers now. And then Evan Smith, he's still on the team, center, left guard. He's been kind of a swing backup-y guy. Not too bad. Him and Kevin Panfield are kind of in the same boat. But the hits, though, were good. Mike Evans, first-round pick. There's only 2 hits. But Mike Evans, first-round pick, top 5 wide receiver. Beautiful. Amazing. Like, not good pick. Love it. I love that pick. Clinton McDonald, free agent. He's still with the team, and he's actually a really good leader. He's a very good veteran presence on this team, and he'll probably play with the Bucs till he retires, to be honest, in my opinion. I think he'll be here for a long time, and he's also a very good guy for the city of Tampa. He does a lot of charity work, a lot of great stuff. Like, Clinton McDonald is a good guy, good hit for Jason Licht in his first year, along with Mike Evans. But there's a lot more misses and a lot more ehs than hits, so 2014 was not a good year. He also let Jonathan Casillas go, who's now a starter for the New York Giants. He's actually a pretty good leader on that team, to be fair to him. They let Darrelle Revis go, who actually went to the New England Patriots, won a Super Bowl, went back to the Jets, got fired, and is now with the Chiefs. Most recently, he's actually with the Chiefs. He just signed with them like last week, so that's interesting. And Donald Penn, who signed with the Raiders and is now part of a very good Raiders offensive line. However, the Raiders have not been doing the best this year. So that's 2014 for you. Overall, pretty bad year, I guess you could say, for Jason Licht. Not the best year. He did have a couple of really good hits, but the hits were just too few. And his misses were just bad, and his ehs were there, and he let a couple of guys go in free agency, and Darrelle Revis won a Super Bowl with the Patriots, and I still have a Darrelle Revis jersey. I'm not salty at all, you know. I don't know. 2015 is where things started to pick up for Jason Licht, though. His misses, there was a handful misses, I guess if you want to call them that, but he hit on some very good draft picks. He hit on some good draft picks. Starting off with the misses, though, we have Bruce Carter, middle linebacker, who was eventually replaced by a guy who we're going to be sitting in the hits category, but to be fair, Bruce Carter wasn't that good. He hasn't really been doing anything since. He's with the Jets now, so he's kind of not he hasn't had a stellar career, but it's still a miss. Mason Foster, they let go to free agency. He's actually a pretty productive guy on the Washington Redskins now. Good player. Sucks that we got rid of him, but in hindsight, we probably would have gotten rid of him anyway with the guy who's coming up. Yeah, but Mason Foster, he's a good guy. He's a good guy in the Redskins defense, so sucks that we got rid of him. That's actually a pretty big miss. Adrian Claiborne, free agency, went to the Falcons. He actually just had 6 sacks in 1 game. That's really impressive. However, aside from that, he hasn't done much. He hasn't done a whole lot. I believe he has 8 sacks this season, I believe. So this is like kind of his breakout year, even if it is extremely late. But I don't blame them because he was terrible all throughout his career for Tampa Bay. So can you blame Jason Licht there? I'm not trying to defend Jason Licht a whole lot. Like, I'm not trying to, but I count it as a pretty decent miss for Adrian Claiborne. Donovan Smith, 2nd round pick, left tackle. I am counting that as a miss up to this point because he's been god-awful, and I don't think he's going to stay with the team. Just a bad draft pick, especially for a 2nd round pick. They need to address the left tackle position again. I feel like if we get a really, really, really solid left tackle, a lot of our problems will be solved. Not a lot of them, but a good problem will be solved. A sizable problem. So yeah, until we get that, Donovan Smith ain't the answer. So that's a big miss right there. Kenny Bell, Kalen Clay, Joey Iosefa, the 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks of the 2015 draft. All like really low misses in my opinion because you don't expect much out of a 5th, a 6th, or a 7th round pick. Kenny Bell, Kalen Clay, they were kind of going to be like speedy, punny, kick return guys that just didn't work out. And Joey Iosefa, fullback, just it's whatever. It is what it is. The Ez, we signed Chris Conte, which he's still with the team, but not a lot of people like Chris Conte, but he's still with the team, so hey, longevity's sake. And Henry Melton, he did good, I thought. He didn't do bad. He did bleh. His I think it was 1 year that he was with the Bucs, and now he's kind of off doing nothing. I don't even think he's in the league right now. The hits, though, the hits were actually not bad, you know. Sterling Moore, free agency, good cornerback. We didn't keep him. We'll get to that later, but he's now at the Saints, I believe, doing pretty good. Ali Marpet, Quan Alexander, phenomenal guys, probably 2 of the best players on our team. We got Quan in the 4th, Ali Marpet in the 2nd, not bad at all in my opinion. And little guy, Jameis Winston, has anybody ever heard of him? He's kind of like a quarterback, I don't know, not bad. Not bad at all. I consider those 3 draft picks humongous hits. Like, that's good. That's good. That's good stuff, man. Like, those 3 were bad. Like, were good. So the misses were kind of contained for the most part. The biggest one being Mason Foster and Adrian Claiborne, to be honest, and Donovan Smith. I mean, you got 3 misses, but 4 pretty big hits. Three hits that I feel are bigger than those misses. So not too bad. Not too bad. So 2016 came along. 2016 we're up to now. This is gonna be a longer video. 2016 came along, and the misses. Ooh, these misses. Jason Licht should probably stop drafting in the 2nd round. He should probably, he should probably just stop. I mean, he has Ali Marpet, but I mean, like, maybe he should just trade down to like the 3rd and 4th rounds, because that's where he like does his work, man. That's where he does his work. So J.R. Sweezy, guard, not having it. He's gonna be a miss for me. He's missed time his 1st year. He missed the whole season, and then he's just not been performing well. It's a down for me, man. It's just not been good. They let Sterling Moore go into free agency, which I was gonna say, which I am saying that is a miss, because you know he's not bad. I don't even know why we got rid of him, especially considering the needs that we have at cornerback now. Sterling Moore would have been greatly appreciated. So I don't know. That was a bad move letting him go to free agency, and he's actually doing pretty decent for the New Orleans Saints now, which really sucks considering they're our rivals. You got Roberto Aguayo in the 2nd round. We all know how that Roberto Aguayo situation went. I made like 100 videos on Roberto Aguayo. The kicker in the 2nd round, just awful. He was just awful. Bad. We'll get more into kicking stuff later, trust me. But Ryan Smith in the 4th, I'm going to put him as an Probably leaning more towards a miss right now. I'm leaning more towards a miss. I'm going to label him as a miss for now, but he can promote himself into the category. But right now, he's been awful. He's been awful. They don't know what to do with him. Play him at safety, play him at cornerback. He's not good at either right now. So, you know, just work on him a little bit. And Caleb Benenoch, fifth round pick, backup tackle. I mean, what can you can't, there's not much you can do about that. But I mean, again, low draft picks, you can't expect much from them. We re-signed Doug Martin to a $35 million deal. It's been very up and down. He might not even stay with the team after this year. We don't know. But I'll count that as an because like he has been good. He's been very good, but he also has shown to not be very good. Like this season in particular is a good example of that. We brought in Robert Ayers, and I'm probably going to put Robert Ayers more into the hit category now, considering he's actually pretty good. He's pretty good. He's pretty balanced. He's not very good at rushing the passer, but I feel he's pretty decent at stopping the run. He's really not that bad. I mean, we didn't sign him on a big old mega deal, and he's kind of been doing his job for the most part, so there's not much to complain about with Robert Ayers. Chris Conte, we re-signed him. Don't know why. Everybody hates Chris Conte. Like, I don't know why. Like, I hope the meme is that Chris Conte just stays with the Bucs till he retires. Like, I want that to be a thing. Vernon Hargreaves and Noah Spence in the first and second rounds. They have a lot of potential, man. They have a lot of potential. They can bump themselves up into the hit category with a little bit more time and training, but right now they're in the category just because of how inconsistent they are. Like, Vernon Hargreaves will have a good stretch of games, and then he will have a god-awful stretch of games, and it just doesn't, like, it doesn't link well. Same with Noah Spence. Some games he'll look great, other games he'll look bleh, or he's getting injured. So, like, they have the potential to move themselves in the hit category or the miss category. They're really in, like, limbo right now, Vernon Hargreaves and Noah Spence. But for hits, we actually did pretty good, and it was all in free agency. This draft was rough. 2016 was a rough draft for Light, but I feel like he did a lot better in free agency. He brought in Brent Grimes, which is the best cornerback we've had in a long time, especially considering his age. Like, he's probably the best cornerback we've had. I was gonna say since Rondé Barber, but maybe. Like, maybe Aqib Talib. Probably since Rondé Barber. Brent Grimes might be better than Aqib Talib is, like, to be honest. I don't know. You tell me. We signed Darrell Smith, which is, left outside linebacker. He did his job perfectly. He was really good at stopping the run. I really wish we would have kept him so he could, like, retire with us or something. That'd be fun. But I don't think he's in the league anymore. But I really liked him. I was really happy that we had him on the team. Josh Robinson, who's a special teams ace, and I don't care what you say, special teams is important. Go ask Pat McAfee for the brand. Like, it's a big deal, and I love it. And speaking of special teams, Brian Anger, one of the best punters in the league in my opinion, he's really good. He's, like, really good. So I'm down for it, man. I'm fine with the free agency. Like, it wasn't that bad. Like, we had a couple of misses. Like, the main misses came in our draft, and the S came from our draft for the most part. But our free agency was really good in 2016, and, a lot of these guys are still with the team, obviously, from the in the hit category. In fact, I believe all of them are still with the team. Yeah, all of them are still with the team minus Darrell Smith. But it was good. I liked the consistency. At least we're not turning over the roster a crap ton, but, I mean, the misses were pretty sizable in this one. Like, I think the misses, for the most part, outweigh the hits, minus Brent Grimes, of course, and Brian Anger to a certain degree, but Aguayo was really bad. J.R. Sweezy was really bad, and then letting Sterling Moore go to free agency was pretty bad, too. Not as bad as Sweezy and Aguayo. I think Aguayo was the worst. Aguayo was probably the worst miss of Jason Light's career up to this point. But overall, not a bad year for 2016, pretty up and down. So, and 2015 was good, so, 2017, though, is a bit of a mystery right now, but I'm okay with it. I'm really not that bad with it right now. So, in terms of misses here, we signed J.J. Wilcox, which was weird because then we just ended up trading him anyway. So, that's, like, kind of a low-tier miss. Not too bad. Nick Folk, we let go, or we signed Nick Folk. That was awful. We gave him like $750K guaranteed, and he sucked the bed. He was awful. He was terrible. So that was bad between him and Aguayo. Like, geez, Jason Licht, stop. Just let somebody else deal with kickers, okay? Just let somebody else do kicking stuff, because we're not doing so good. And for the category, Bradley McDougall we let go to free agency. Vincent Jackson we let go to free agency, and Jeremy McNichols we got in the 5th round. it kind of sucked, but what we did later in the what we did in the hit category for this offseason kind of offsets all of that for the most part. I mean, minus the Jerry McNichols thing, he's just kind of I think he's on the 49ers practice squad now because he was like kind of salty. We also let Mike Glennon go to free agency, but Mike Glennon can never catch a break, and he always gets quarterbacks drafted to replace him. So happened with Jameis Winston, and it happened with Mitchell Trubisky. So who knows? Maybe Mike Glennon will go to the Jets or something and start, and maybe he'll have another competition with Josh McCown, and Mike Glennon will be cursed forever because that's just what happens to Mike Glennon, I guess. For the hits category, I'm gonna call OJ Howard a hit right now because he's pretty freaking good when he's shown when they give him the ball on. He's shown to be pretty good. I know he's just a rookie still, but I have a lot of confidence in him. It's still kind of weird that we got him and Cameron Brate. I don't really know why that happened. I guess they just took the best player available. But OJ Howard's really good. I mean, I'm kind of worried that means we're not going to re-sign Cameron Brate. But, you know, I still like it. I still like OJ Howard. I think he's pretty good. We also got Deshaun Jackson free agency. That was a huge move. I mean, it's been paying off pretty well, to be fair. If we can get the deep ball to him, if next year, I think this year was a lot of growing pains, and next year, if we don't decide to release him or trade him, I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be a huge year for Deshaun Jackson, Mike, and just the whole offense again. I think it's going to be a huge year. Because if we can start connecting on those deep balls to Deshaun Jackson, it's going to get really nice. It's going to get, like, really nice. We also got, what was I trying to say? Oh, we got Chris Godwin in the 3rd round. Pretty good move. A lot of people thought he was a steal, and he was actually a good pick. You know, he hasn't been able to do much yet. Adam Humphries has been doing the bulk of stuff, but, which I believe, what was I going to say? I know I probably missed out on a lot of, like, undrafted free agents, like, you know, your Adam Humphries, your Cameron Brates. Those two are huge ones. Your, you know, those two. I can't remember what years they were in there, but just throw them in the hits category for whatever respective year they brought in. I believe it was like 2016 or 20. It was either 2015 or 2016. I'm gonna say 2015. Just put them in the hits category. Adam Humphries and Cameron Brate. You know, just whatever good guys you can think of, just put them in the hits category, just to, you know, just. Or the misses or whatever, you know. You guys can tell me what I missed in the comments section. I got most of this information from Walter Football, so they obviously didn't have everything in mind. But we got Justin Evans in the 2nd round. It was, you know, Justin Evans, he's kind of that Bradley McDougall replacement. He's not been doing bad. He's actually been shown to do pretty good, so I'm happy with him. We had Kendall Beckwith in the 4th round. Good pick, left outside linebacker. Between him, Quan, and Levante, we probably have one of the best linebacking cores in football, to be fair. For the Ez, Chris Baker, not the best, but not the worst. I don't know if I wouldn't call him lazy, but he's not been doing very good. Maybe we'll see what happens these last stretch of games here. Maybe he'll do really well. I don't know. But he's definitely in the category. Mike Glennon, Vincent Jackson, McDougall. So, you know, Jason Light's 4-year career at the Bucs, okay. 2014, not a good year. Like, not a very good year. He only had a couple of hits. 2015, he did a lot better. 2015 was probably his best year, to be honest. 2016 was pretty up and down, and 2017 was more up than down. The hits were better than the misses, in my opinion. We didn't really lose too much stock here. But all in all, like, between 2014, after you get past 2014 and the crap show that was, minus Mike Evans and Clint McDonald, he has not been doing bad. Yes, he's had a lot of pretty sizable misses. Your J.R. Sweezy, your Roberto Aguayos, let's see here, your Anthony Collins, your Michael Johnsons, your Altron Burners, ASJ. He let Mason Foster go, Adrian Claiborne, Donovan Smith. But I mean, in terms of hits, you got Mike Evans, Clinton McDonald, you got Jameis Winston, Ali Marpet, Quan. Yes, he let Donald Penn go to free agency. But you got Brent Grimes, you got Josh Robinson, you got Brian Anger, you got OJ Howard, Deshaun Jackson, Chris Godwin, Justin Evans. Like, he's done pretty good. He's probably done the best GM the Bucs have had in probably 10 years, I want to say, last decade. He's really, really good. He might be I think he's the best GM the Bucs have ever had. So do I think the Bucs should fire Jason Licht? No. No, I do not actually. Especially considering all the undrafted guys that they've gotten in that I can't remember for the life of me right now. But the two that came to my mind were Adam Humphries and Cameron Brate. Ryan Fitzpatrick was in there too. He's in the category. I love me some Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. And fear the beard. He doesn't have a beard anymore, but you know, fear Fitz magic. You know, he's bringing in some decent guys. Javian Elliott's another name where I'd put in the category. TJ Ward actually is also in the category. Keith Tandy, I believe he re-signed Keith Tandy. That's a good move, right? You know, he's not doing the worst. You know, I think he's doing great. But let me know what you guys think about Jason Licht down in the comment section below, and you guys can talk about some players that you think are good, some players that you think are bad. Hopefully I've presented a decent case as to why Jason Licht should stay with the team. He's kind of one of the better things that the team has going right now in terms of just like overall talent management and whatnot like that. If he does stay, I'm excited to see what he's going to do this offseason because I think we're in good hands with him. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about all this down in the comment section below. I'd love to chat with you about it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. But until then, goodbye for now, guys.